Hello there, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Talon the Tech Merc behind the camera, and this is Apathy Horse. His real name is Conar.
What's up?
You should check out his channel. There'll be a link in the description below. But today we recently built that computer that's standing right there. We recently built it. So spec-wise, it's got a Ryzen 5 1600. That is last generation Ryzen, still perfectly great. It's got a 750 watt EVGA power supply, a 1060, 16 gigs of RAM, an SSD and a hard drive. Pretty standard, especially for an intro. This case is actually really cool. We got it for $50 on sale, and it's a Cooler Master Micro ATX case. I don't remember the model right off the top of my head, but it's got a USB 3.0 front panel, your standard front panel, and then around the side we have an actual glass side panel. That's not acrylic, that's actual tinted glass, which is super cool. So, how do you like your new computer?
It's pretty sick. I haven't had a PC since about 2010 that was not a gaming PC, and it could not run anything. So it's really nice to actually be able to play video games on my PC again.
So what are you most excited about with this?
I think it's really cool to be involved in PC stuff, because I always hear people talk about all this PC mumbo jumbo that I don't understand, and now I kind of get it. I still don't know a lot, but it was a nice introduction.
And that's kind of the entire point behind this build. It wasn't super expensive. I think we got all the parts for like $750.
Yeah.
And this is his first build. I just came over after work one day and I just taught him how to build the computer. So what were the hardest and easiest parts?
I feel like I was trying to be really careful with everything, and I think I was being overly careful, and if I would have done it by myself, it would have taken forever. Partly because I would have been afraid to plug things in. I would have been afraid that I would break something, but it was nice having somebody that actually knew what they were doing, so I could not worry about that stuff.
So a big thing that a lot of people are afraid of when building a computer is that same exact thing is, I'm going to ruin this component that I spent $350
right
on, and it's just going to suck all around. But it's actually pretty difficult to do that. Not saying that it can't be done and that like you should just treat them roughly, but sometimes you do have to push cables in hard and the motherboard does flex a little bit,
right,
and stuff like that, and that's pretty normal. So what would you say to people who are just now getting into it?
I would recommend what I did, which is have somebody help you. I mean, I'm sure YouTube could help, just looking up how to do stuff, but it was nice to have somebody here that I could ask questions to, and I could get a quick response.
Right, and one thing that we were really careful about with this build, and that I spent a lot of time doing, was actually looking up parts and a lot of that stuff, and that really should be the most important part of your build, wouldn't you agree? Is just to kind of map things out.
I did none of that.
Yeah, and I spent a long time finding kind of the parts and the use case he would have for it, because from what I understand, he has a YouTube channel, so having a nice computer like this that you can record games on in decent quality is probably super nice, and that's what the 1600 is for. It's got 6 cores. Streaming is nice on that thing. Some video editing will be fine. It's more than enough to get into it, and eventually down the line, if you wanted to spend more money, you could get 8 cores, something like that, and upgrade there. So what do you think overall of your first gaming PC building experience?
It was much easier than I thought it was going to be, and I think if somebody wants to try it, they should.
Yeah.
As long as you get the money.
Yeah. Another thing right now is, parts are still really expensive. RAM is really expensive right now. But that stuff is starting to go down, and don't let it discourage you. Just look for deals, because what we did is MSRP for all of these parts would have been well over $1,000, maybe even over $1,500. But you just spend time looking for deals, buy stuff when they're on sale, and things like that, and it really isn't that bad of an experience. So that does about does it for the video. Go ahead and plug your channel real quick if you want.
Yo, youtube.com, Apathy Horse. Check it out. It's video games and stuff.
It's pretty it's pretty funny. The super hot video is my favorite one. So thank you guys for watching.